The application I'm going to use for this demo is a pasteboard application in which users can post commands in ShareBots, and Istio Service Mesh are already pre-installed and configured for all the microservices here. For this demo, we will mainly using the user profile to demonstrate some of the Service Mesh features. This is the look and feel of the demo applications. This is the user profile page that displays user information like full name and email address. So you need a way to visualize the Service Mesh topology. Service Mesh provides Kiali, which is an open source project that gives you a console view of your Service Mesh. You can inspect the health of your Service Mesh, and it has further integrations for metrics, querying, and tracings. Let's click on the graph and look at the Service Mesh topology. This graph shows the microservices in your Service Mesh and how they are connected. We can see the traffic started from a ingress gateway, go to the main page, which is the app UI, and it actually calls to another microservice of this bot, and also calling the user profile microservice, and this current user profile is versions 1.0. There are more information we can display in this graph. For example, we can pick some of the available options here. We can show the response times. So immediately you can see the app UI is average taking about 30 milliseconds, and we have this bot microservice is taking average of 5 milliseconds. Let's turn on other informations like maybe we want to look at traffic distributions. Okay, this will be useful later if we have few more versions of the user profile for the demo. We also can turn on these traffic animations just to demonstrate the flows of the traffics into our applications. There are a few versions of the user profile microservices deployed, and their configurations are configured under Istio config. Look for the user profile, destination rule, as you can see, there are 3 different versions of user profile being configured here. And the traffic's routing will be configured under user profile virtual service. The current configuration is configured for the version 1, 100% of the traffics, and the remaining 2 versions are actually 0 traffics. Let's try configure version 1 with 50% of the traffic, and version 3 another 50% of the traffic. So according to these configurations, the traffic will be routed between version 1 and version 3. Let's do a save here. Now, let's go back to the application itself. We can try to click on the profile to see if there's any changes. Yep. So this is the background color of the version 3. Let's try to click profile again. So you can see the color is changing in between version 1 and version 3. How about the graph? Okay, from the graph itself, we can see the version 3 has been shown in the graph, and you can see the distributions percentage is around 50% for each of the versions. Next, we're going to look at the Grafana monitoring tools that integrated with Service Mesh for metrics observations. This Grafana gives you a holistic view of your services and metrics associated with those services. Let's go to the dashboard of the services. Here you can see that globally there are no error response, and you can get a quick snapshot of the throughput and latencies for each services. We can even drill into any of the service here by clicking the links. For example, this service tree, expand the general. We can see the information specific for this service. We go under service workloads. We can see incoming requests by destinations, incoming success rates, as well as other informations here. Next, we will look into distributed tracing tool, Jaeger. Jaeger lets you trace requests as they flow through your service mesh. This is incredibly useful for debugging performance issues in your microservices architecture. Let's go back to Istio config. Under the user profile virtual service. Here, version 2 is the one having the performance issues. Now, I'm going to set version 1 as 10%, and the remaining traffic shall go to version 2 in order to trigger some of the requests that is facing performance issue. Let's save. Now, if we go back to the applications, if I click the profile again, you can see it's taking some time to load. This is because the version 2 is having performance issues where it's fixed to returns the response around 10 seconds, and the version 2 background color is purple. Let's look at our graph in the Kiali. You can see the version 2 has shown in the graph. Let's go back to the Jaeger. Let's do a fine trace again. Now, from the graph here, you can see some of the services call is taking around 10 seconds. This is the version 2 call that has performance issues. So you can look into the tracing information here that is showing this service is taking 10 seconds.